Welcome back to Braintree Today. I'm Sarah Hamilton and you're watching BCAM TV. Now we'll be getting into our latest stories from the week. Canada is mourning one of the worst mass shootings in its history. Police say 18-year-old Jessie Van Roostelars is accused of killing 9 people, including herself, in the small town of Tumbler Ridge. Authorities say the suspect first killed her 39-year-old mother and 11-year-old stepbrother at their home before going to Tumbler Ridge Secondary School, where most of the victims, believed to be 12 and 13-year-old students, were shot inside the school library. 7 people, including the suspect, were found dead at the school. 2 female students remain hospitalized in serious condition. Police say several other students were taken to a medical center for evaluation, but did not suffer physical injuries. Investigators have not identified a motive. Officials say police had previously responded to the suspect's residence in recent years over concerns related to mental health. The U.S. is sending 200 troops to Nigeria to train the country's military to fight Islamist militants. Weeks after President Trump accused the West African government of failing to protect Christians from terrorist attacks, an American military official said Tuesday the troops will supplement a handful of U.S. military personnel already in Nigeria to help local forces use intelligence to identify targets for military strikes, according to U.S. and Nigerian officials. Late last year, Trump said Christians face genocide in Nigeria. Due to inaction by Nigerian authorities, Trump threatened to send U.S. forces into the country to wipe out the Islamist militants. He threatened to slash U.S. aid to Nigeria if it continues to allow the killing of Christians. The fresh U.S. forces are expected to arrive in Nigeria over the coming weeks and will be stationed around the country to provide training and technical guidance for Nigerian troops. U.S. officials said that Americans won't be involved in combat. The Trump administration is moving to eliminate a major federal climate regulation in what officials are calling the largest deregulatory action in U.S. history. The U.S. Environmental Protection Agency is expected to rescind its 2009 endangerment finding, which determined that greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide and methane threaten public health. That finding has served as the legal foundation for federal climate regulations for more than a decade. EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin, alongside President Donald Trump, is expected to formally announce the change Thursday. The White House says eliminating the rule could save Americans up to $1.3 trillion in regulatory costs and reduce vehicle prices by more than $2,400 per car. Environmental groups strongly oppose the move and say they plan to challenge it in court. Scientific organizations have also disputed claims that the original finding overstated climate risks. If the repeal survives legal challenges, it could significantly reshape federal climate policy. President Donald Trump says he urged Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to continue negotiations with Iran over its nuclear program. Following their White House meeting Wednesday, President Trump said nothing definitive was decided, but emphasized he prefers a diplomatic deal. He warned, however, that if talks fail, the outcome could be uncertain. Tensions in the Middle East remain high. The two leaders met amid renewed concerns over Iran's nuclear ambitions, ballistic missile stockpiles, and regional instability. Israel has called Iran's nuclear program an existential threat. U.S. officials are pushing for Iran to end uranium enrichment and curb missile development, while Iran has said negotiations should focus strictly on nuclear issues. Diplomatic talks between U.S. and Iranian officials resumed recently in Oman, though little progress has been reported. President Trump has previously signaled he could consider military action if negotiations collapse. For now, both sides say discussions are continuing as pressure builds in the region. A new long-term study suggests that playing a specific brain training video game may help lower the risk of dementia, even decades later. The research, published in Alzheimer's and Dementia, followed nearly 3,000 adults over the age of 65 for 20 years. Participants who completed up to 23 hours of a cognitive exercise known as speed training were found to have a 25% lower risk of developing dementia compared to those who did not receive the training. Speed training uses an interactive computerized game that tests the ability to recognize 2 separate images in faster and faster sequences, similar to what happens while driving. Researchers say the program may strengthen neural networks and build what's known as cognitive reserve, helping the brain better withstand age-related decline. Experts caution that while the findings are promising, dementia is complex and there is no single prevention method. Maintaining overall brain health, including exercise, managing blood pressure and cholesterol, staying socially engaged, and keeping hearing and vision in check remains important. Still, researchers say the results offer some of the strongest evidence yet that targeted cognitive training can create long-lasting benefits. Thanks for watching Braintree Today. We'll be right back with more after the break.
Hi, I'm State Representative Bruce Ayers, and I'd like to introduce you to the Helping Hand program. With rising healthcare costs, all too often we hear stories about our seniors, veterans, and neighbors who may not have the proper insurance coverage they need for durable medical equipment. These individuals may be living on a fixed income and may not have the financial resources necessary to cover the cost of the equipment they need. We have a solution. The Helping Hand program provides free, durable medical equipment to residents in need. Items such as wheelchairs, walkers, crutches, canes, commodes, tub seats, and hospital beds are available through the program. We receive donations of lightly used equipment and store them at our facility in North Quincy. If you're in need of any of these items, you can pick them up free of charge and return them after any length of time.
My scooters improve my mobility and independence. Thanks to Helping Hand, I can go to the store, visit the boardwalk, and do so much more.
Helping Hand is a great resource for people who don't have insurance coverage.
The Helping Hand program is successful thanks to the generosity of people who have donated durable medical equipment to our inventory. For more information about the program or to fill out an equipment request form, visit our website or call 617-472-9877. If you know someone in need of these items, we're always available to lend a helping hand.
Welcome back to Braintree Today. I'm Sarah Hamilton. Now we'll be getting into more stories. At Monday night's school committee meeting, Joe Olivier and Richard Ellis and the rest of the representatives of Braintree Super Saturday program gave a gift to the school marking the 25th anniversary of the Super Saturday program, supported by the Special Education Department. Super Saturday's annual donation to Braintree Public Schools truly means the world and reflects 25 years of commitment, community, and care. Here's more from Joe Olivier and Richard Ellis.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Joe Olivier, and I'm a board member of Super Saturdays. And this is Rich Ellis, who is our treasurer. Along with us tonight is Sean Walsh, Mary Ellis, Kristen Zachello, and Dr. Peter Kurzberg, all board members of Super Saturdays. This year, we will celebrate the 25th year of Super Saturdays recreation program. 25 years ago, a group of parents had a vision of starting a rec program designed for children with special needs. A program unique to these students' interests and abilities. This all came to fruition with the birth of Super Saturdays. Through the leadership of Mary Ford Clark, program director, and Julianne Quintiliani and the talented group of counselors, Super Saturdays has blossomed into the best possible recreation program for the students and families it serves. Their Saturdays are filled with trips to Canopy Lake Park, downtown Boston theater productions, bowling, and many other exciting experiences. This program can't be measured in years. It's measured in the lives and families it has impacted. Most importantly, it reflects the countless young people whose lives have been shaped by Super Saturdays, and who in turn have shaped our community for the better. Not to mention the lifelong friendships that have developed over the years between the students and staff. This year, Super Saturdays will face some financial headwinds. The program is fully funded by three major fundraisers: our golf tournament, the Sprint for Super Saturdays, and the comedy evening. We want to thank all of the supporters of these three events, and at the same time, thank the local business community for their continued generosity. Additionally, we want to show our appreciation for all of the families who have made special donations specific to Super Saturdays. In closing, as we celebrate our 25th year, please keep Super Saturdays in mind as you consider donations within the Braintree community. At this time, I'm going to hand it over to Rich Ellis, treasurer and co-founder of Super Saturdays.
Good evening, everybody. Simply on behalf of Super Saturdays Board of Directors, I'd like to present this gift to schools for $45,000. This is in addition to $20,000 that we gave to schools last November. And again, we appreciate the community's help and school committee's help for everything. Thank you very much.
Thank you all.
At Tuesday night's planning board meeting, the board had a continued public hearing scheduled regarding minor modifications to the 125 Union Street project. Once the site of the Motel 6 was demolished to make space for a then Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A decided not to continue the project, and in early 2025, Torrington Properties chose to continue the project with a Shake Shack, Cava, Brookline Bank, and a revised retail space. Attorney Frank Marinelli, representing Torrington Properties, gave a quick presentation about the modifications. Here's more from Attorney Marinelli.
The Westerly building is already constructed, and it will house Cava, the veterinary emergency group, and also Beacon Bank, formerly Brookline Bank. And so we're requesting minor modification to adjust the approved Easterly building for the premier brand of Shake Shack. The approved Easterly building is reduced over 35%, reduced by about 1,800 square feet from the prior approved Chick-fil-A building. And weekday vehicle trips, as summarized in Jeff's reports that you have, are reduced on average 52% as compared to the prior approved Chick-fil-A. And notwithstanding that, all of the off-site improvements that were requested by the town in 2301 original approval in December of 2023 are being performed, even though there's substantially less traffic, 52% less on average from the use that was intended with Chick-fil-A. And even though we have a much smaller building, Torrington has already spent about $1.2 million in the intersection, redoing the entire intersection. And I think they did that pretty seamlessly for the big job that it was for all of us residents who travel through there. Here's, the Westerly building is complete, as Jeff said, and here's the off-site improvements. This is sidewalk pretty much going up to the intersection where you can cross over from the T and you can walk down, safely now on this easterly side of Ivory Street. This is another view of it, and this is, and that's okay. And this is directly in front on the Union Street frontage, so you can see everything that's been done on the off-site improvements is pedestrian friendly, encouraging pedestrian use. This is the turnaround lane that Jeff had designed, where if you head down Ivory Street, you take the turn back, reverse, and come in on the Ivory Street entrance. These are the signals that have all been replaced. All of the off-site improvements that Torrington did with little disruption through the months.
To watch the full school committee meeting and the full planning board meeting, tune into BCAM TV Government Channel, Channel 8 on Comcast, and Channel 26 on Verizon. And check out our YouTube page at youtube.com/BCAMTV. Local veterans are invited to a special community coffee hour later this month. The Braintree Veterans Service Office will host a Veterans Coffee Hour on Tuesday, February 24th from 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. at 74 Pond Street on the second floor. The event is open to veterans from Braintree, Holbrook, and Avon. Several local officials are expected to attend, including State Senators James Keenan and Bill Driscoll, State Representative Mark Cusack, and Braintree Mayor Aaron Joyce. Organizers say the goal of the event is to give veterans the opportunity to ask questions directly to their state and local leaders. A buffet breakfast will be served. Veterans planning to attend are encouraged to reach out in advance so organizers can get a head count. If you're interested, contact Braintree Veterans Service Office at 781-794-8217. In other veterans news, the Braintree Veterans Service Center has announced that the Veterans Pantry is back up and running. The pantry is now accepting donations of new clothing, toiletries, and non-perishable food items, all of which go directly towards supporting local veterans in need. The pantry serves veterans in Braintree, Holbrook, and Avon. Donations can be dropped off at the Veterans Service Center located at 74 Pond Street in Braintree. Town officials say the reopening of the pantry ensures veterans continue to have access to essential resources and support within the community. There's no escaping the escape room trend, and now it's coming for the first time to Braintree. Escapology, an escape room destination at 400 Franklin Street in Five Corners, will open its doors on Thursday, February 12th, according to a news release. In rooms like these, teams of game players race to discover clues or perform tasks in order to escape the chamber or solve a puzzle. Escapology Braintree will include 6 escape rooms. They range from a haunted house, where the walls whisper and time is running out, to the Scooby-Doo and the Spooky Castle adventure, where players try to solve a mystery and unmask the villain before the clock strikes midnight. The 3,900 square foot site in Braintree will be the third Escapology franchise operated by Wamsit Lanes, a bowling, arcade, and family entertainment center in Tewksbury. The business hopes to employ 10 to 15 people at the Braintree site. Here's a look at what's happening around Braintree. At their public library, the Genealogy Club is meeting on Saturday, February 14th at 10 a.m. for those interested in tracing their family's history. Then, later that day, the English Conversation Circle meets at 3 p.m. in Conference Room A on the upper level, giving English language learners a chance to practice speaking together. To register, visit the library's website at theirpubliclibrary.libcal.com. The Braintree Recreation Department is offering a Central Rock Gym climbing clinic from February 18th through March 25th. They're also running a kids test kitchen program through February 24th, meeting Tuesdays at 5 p.m. In addition, Super Soccer Stars is hosting youth soccer sessions now through March 28th at the Liberty Elementary School gym, focusing on skill building and teamwork in a fun, supportive environment. On February 15th, see the Providence Bruins versus the Bridgeport Islanders. The bus departs at 1:15 p.m. from the Braintree Recreation Office, located at 74 Pond Street. Tickets are $45. For more information, call the Recreation Department at 781-794-8900. And that's your weekly snapshot. Thank you for watching Braintree Today on BCAM TV. We'll be right back with more stories in the area. But first, here's a look at events happening this month at the Braintree Senior Center, located at 71 Cleveland Ave in Braintree. The Braintree Senior Center is offering a wide range of activities this February, from daily fitness and social programs to special events and presentations. First, a look at the center's regular offerings. Fitness classes are held daily. Mondays feature bocce coffee hours at 9:30, a walking group at 10, and men's coffee hour at 11. Pool players meet Mondays and Fridays at noon, with pool lessons Thursdays at 12:30. Game days run Tuesdays from 10 to 3, while Asian outreach is held Wednesdays at 11 a.m., followed by GEMS exercise at 1. Creative groups include quilting Thursdays at 11:30, knitting at 1, and movies Fridays at 12:30. The center is also hosting several special February events. The Cornhole League meets February 2nd and 9th at 1 p.m. A low vision group meets February 3rd at 10 a.m. Bingo takes place February 4th and 18th at 12:50. A Valentine's Day musical is scheduled for February 11th at 1 p.m. For more offerings, a photography class on February 12th and 26th, a hip-hop dance class on February 13th, and a full day of programming on February 20th, including spa day by appointment, book club, a KevTech iPhone and iPad class, and an advisory board meeting. Additional events include a craft class on February 23rd, just lunch on February 24th, and an Alzheimer's presentation that afternoon. A 250th anniversary Abigail Adams presentation on February 25th, which is free to attend. For more information or to sign up, residents are encouraged to contact the Braintree Senior Center directly, located at 71 Cleveland Avenue in Braintree, Massachusetts. Call 781-848-1963 after 9:30 a.m. February 2nd to sign up for all programs. Welcome back to Braintree Today. Now let's get right into more stories. A former NFL player is facing a murder charge in the death of a 29-year-old Framingham woman in Tennessee. Authorities say 31-year-old Darren Alexander Lee is accused of killing his girlfriend, Gabriella Perpetuo, last week in Ooltewah, Tennessee. Lee was arrested at the home and charged with first-degree murder and tampering with evidence, according to the Hamilton County Sheriff's Office. Police were called to the residence Thursday afternoon for a report of CPR in progress. First responders attempted life-saving measures, but Perpetua was pronounced dead at the scene. Investigators say the condition of the home and the victim indicated the death was a homicide. Lee previously played in the NFL with several teams, including the New York Jets and Buffalo Bills. He is currently being held without bond and was scheduled to appear in court on February 11th. A GoFundMe has been set up to support Petuo's family with travel and funeral expenses. The fundraiser confirmed she was killed in Tennessee, and GoFundMe says donations are being held securely. An Easton mother has filed a wrongful death lawsuit against Tesla, alleging a defect in the company's electronic door system led to her son's death. The lawsuit, filed February 4th in U.S. District Court for the District of Massachusetts, was brought by Jacqueline Tremblett on behalf of her 20-year-old son, Samuel Tremblett. According to the complaint, Samuel was driving a 2021 Tesla Model Y on Route 138 in Easton last October when the vehicle struck a tree and caught fire. Prosecutors say Tremblett survived the initial crash, but was unable to escape because the vehicle's electronic doors would not open. He later died from smoke inhalation and thermal injuries. The suit accuses Tesla of wrongful death, negligence, breach of warranty, and conscious pain and suffering, claiming the company continued to manufacture vehicles with known safety concerns related to electronic door handles. The complaint alleges Tesla engineers had previously raised concerns about the design, and that similar incidents nationwide have resulted in multiple deaths since 2016. Tesla has not yet responded publicly to the lawsuit. A baby born at South Shore Hospital arrived in a way doctors say is a New England first, and possibly a national one. Penny Bolus was delivered in October after her mother developed severe preeclampsia, a dangerous pregnancy complication that required an early delivery. Penny was born at just 27 weeks, but doctors used a rare technique known as an on-call cesarean section that means Penny was delivered fully encased in the amniotic sac, still surrounded by fluid, with the placenta and umbilical cord intact. Doctors say the approach allows for a much gentler transition for premature babies. The procedure was carefully planned in advance and is rarely performed, especially during a C-section. Hospital officials say early research suggests that the technique may reduce complications for extremely premature infants. Doctors at South Shore Hospital say they hope the successful delivery could help pave the way for similar procedures in the future, when conditions are safe and appropriate. Showcase Cinema Deluxe in Randolph will permanently close later this month, marking the end of an era for moviegoers in the community. The theater chain announced that Sunday, February 22nd will be the Randolph location's final day of operations. In a statement, the company said, "It has been our pleasure to serve the Randolph community, thanking customers for their years of support." The Randolph Theater, which opened in 1998, has been a longtime entertainment staple, featuring 16 screens across a 4-story building. The closure comes just weeks after Showcase Cinema's Foxborough at Patriots Place shut down in January. That location is set to be renovated and reopened next summer under Phoenix Theaters, which plans for upgraded seating, projection, and sound. Showcase Cinemas did not give a specific reason for the Randolph closure, but encouraged moviegoers to visit nearby locations. A Norwood native made his Olympic debut this week, carrying the memory of his parents with him onto the ice. Maxim Nemov competed in the men's short program at the 2026 Winter Olympics in Milan, representing Team USA. Nemov trains at the Skating Club of Boston, where fellow skaters say they are incredibly proud of him. His parents, Evgenia Shishkova and Vadim Nemov, were world champion pair skaters and longtime coaches. They were among 67 people killed in a mid-air plane crash over the Potomac River in January of 2025. Nemov has said that after their deaths, he wasn't sure he would skate again, but he pushed forward, saying he could feel his parents guiding him as he performed. After finishing his program, he held a photo of them while waiting for his score. He earned his 86.65 in the short program. Nemov, who recently captured bronze at the U.S. Figure Skating Championships, has called skating for Team USA a dream come true and an honor. Thank you for tuning in to Braintree Today. We'll be right back with more in entertainment.
Hi, I'm Tom Lyons, a retired captain from the Quincy Fire Department and the author of the book Fighting Fire, A Proactive Approach. Let's talk portable electric space heater safety. These heaters must not be left unattended. Place them on a stable base 3 feet from combustibles. Their use is not recommended within a bedroom, but if you must do so, place a smoke detector on the ceiling within the bedroom. Plug a portable space heater directly into the outlet, avoiding extension cords. Thus, do not use lamp cords or power strips for this purpose. Are portable, unvented propane and oil-filled heating appliances safe to use within a residence? No. Massachusetts prohibits their use. These heaters produce asphyxiant gases. These gases can render an occupant incapacitated or dead. Please consider your safety during these upcoming colder months. Thank you for doing so.
Welcome back to Braintree Today. First in entertainment news, James Van Der Beek, an actor most commonly known for his role of Dawson Leary in Dawson's Creek, died Wednesday at the age of 48. Vanderbeek was diagnosed with colorectal cancer in August of 2023, but did not go public with his stage 3 cancer battle until November 2024. In a statement made by his wife, Kimberly, she said he met his final days with courage, faith, and grace. There is much to share regarding his wishes, love for humanity, and the sacredness of time. Those days will come. For now, we ask for peaceful privacy as we grieve our loving husband, father, son, brother, and friend." End quote. Vanderbeek is survived by his wife, Kimberly, and their 6 young children. A GoFundMe was launched to help the family financially. According to a statement on the GoFundMe page, the family faced significant financial strain as they did everything possible to support James and provide for his care. Now, here are some new movies and shows that have been creating some social buzz. First, Wuthering Heights takes place on the isolated Yorkshire moors and follows the turbulent, lifelong bond between the brooding outsider Heathcliff and the fiercely independent Catherine Earnshaw. Their obsessive love ignites cycles of revenge, heartbreak, and generational trauma that consumes everyone around them. The film stars Margot Robbie and Jacob Elordi. You can watch Wuthering Heights now in theaters. Up next, Goat follows a small goat named Will, who gets a once-in-a-lifetime shot to join the pros and play Roarball, a high-intensity, full-contact sport that's dominated by the fastest, fiercest animals in the world. Ridiculed by his teammates, Will becomes determined to revolutionize the sport and prove that small can ball. The film stars Caleb McLaughlin as the voice of Will. You can watch Goat now in theaters. Finally, Crime 101 follows an elusive thief who is eyeing his final score when he encounters a disillusioned insurance broker at her own crossroads. As their paths intertwine, a relentless detective trails them, hoping to thwart the multi-million-dollar heist they are planning. The film stars Chris Hemsworth and Halle Berry. You can watch Crime 101 now in theaters. That'll do it for news today. Don't forget, Verizon customers can watch BCAM TV in high definition on channel 2128 and Comcast on channel 1073. I'm Sarah Hamilton, and thank you for watching Braintree Today on BCAM TV. We'll see you next time.